is a process of decisions podcast.
This is Trent Thomas, your recovery peer support specialist. Tonight's episode is entitled, Where is Trust in Recovery? In recovery, we must trust the process. Trust is an action word. It requires energy, movement. In order to facilitate trust, you must first find someone who is trustworthy, worthy of trust. Trust is historical. It exists in the history of a thing. We develop trust. It is not dropped in, but rather it is fashioned or formed. It is fashioned into shape. Trust is not instant. It demands time to orchestrate. Trust is an entity that exists in the historical mindset, built from different and distinct ambers of times gone past. Even though trust is historical, trust is the foundation for future events and manifestations. Trust is the base for architecture yet to be developed. To have faith, we must trust the God in which we have faith in. We must trust his history. One thing we can be absolutely certain of is that the history of God is filled with greatness. God's history is complete with success. All successful all the time. God cannot fail. God completes everything he starts. God has a 100% success rate. At its beginning, recovery is an act of God. Recovery begins with and is by God. The moment of sanity we all experience is God ordained, God directed, God inspired. You see, there is no recovery without God. God is magnificent with great magnitude and infinite wisdom and equipped with complete understanding. Solomon, the wisest man that walked this planet, stated, with all thy getting, get an understanding. Understanding is the ability to discern right from wrong. To understand requires trusting the process, a process that includes right and wrong, a process that includes faith in God, a process that includes a daily increment of wisdom derived from understanding. Trust in God is completed with faith, not wishful thinking, but the absolute assured expectation of things hoped for yet unseen. Trust requires intellect and understanding. Trust requires knowing who or what you are trusting. Trust requires you ascertain the trustworthiness of the who or what you are trusting. Recovery is a process. This process requires trust. Witnessing the historical proof of recovery, we build our trust from this proof. This truth comes from the testimonies of others. It is their story that reveals truth. We trust this truth, as it is truth that is God directed. Truth testimonies originate with God. With God, all things are possible. Therefore, recovery is possible. This truth invites trust. Trusting the process of recovery is mandatory for recovery to succeed. Recovery is not instant, nor should it be. Life is a succession of hills and valleys. Thus, recovery mandates the same time restraints. Trust is the foundation for this process. We must trust God in his direction in our lives. Recovery is a process of decisions. Deciding to recover begins with a moment of sanity, directed and initiated by God. Trusting God and his intervention into our recovery process is absolutely mandatory, and in fact, trust is necessary for sustained recovery growth. Trusting the process of recovery involves our absolute trust in the God of our understanding, his production, his direction, his will. This trust molds and forms our recovery experience, and trusting the recovery process is intertwined with our trust in the God of our understanding. Trust is mandatory for recovery to be sustained and grow. To recover, we must trust the process. This has been Trent Thomas, and recovery is a process of decisions podcast.